Okay. New episode of First Team Second String. Here we go. It's just me. Just good old me. As I probably mentioned in the intro. No guarantees though. So the NBA, we got our conference semis. We had a game 7, and we got some stuff. It's packed. We got a packed show. So, by the way, there's been too many blowouts in the NBA, so it fucking stinks. But so the conference semis happened. Game 7, the Hawks beat the Sixers, and then they torched the Knicks. Who are these Atlanta Hawks? Shout out to 2 Chainz for flying out to every game. I would love to do that. That's pretty cool. I would love to be at every Lakers game during a playoff run where they win a championship. I'm not saying the Atlanta Hawks are going to championship. I'm just saying I would love that. That'd be kind of sick. Not kind of. That'd be amazing. So, all right. So we're looking at these Atlanta Hawks, and the question is, who are they? Because they've been beating everybody. So the last 10 games of the regular season, they went 7-3, and since and including the last 10 regular games, including the last 10 games and the playoffs, they're 12-4. Since Nate McMillan took over, the Hawks raised their offensive rating with Trae Young on the court from 115.4 to 121.3, and their net rating with him from +2.5 to +8.2. And then they finished 27-11. Before Nate McMillan, they were 6 games under 500. They finished 41-31. So these motherfuckers are balling. And no one's really believed in the Atlanta Hawks. And the Atlanta Hawks aren't making finals. I know there's Hawks fans who say, yeah, doubt us. Or there's that whole NBA fans are unbelievably annoying. And I include Laker fans. We're unbelievably annoying. It's like we're like extensions of basketball players that have no basketball game, but think we can all play basketball somehow, or think that we can essentially just do any. Like, there's so many people in Atlanta who are like, doubt us, bro. Doubt us. We'll make it. It's like, no, you won't, dude. You're going to get eliminated by the fucking Nets because they're probably going to win it all. But I'm going to the glasses. In the playoffs, Trae Young has averaged 29-10, basically, while shooting below average from threes, which is surprising, shooting like 34%. I know what everybody's thinking, which is that's surprising. That's why I said it. And he's shooting 91% from the free throw line and 50% from 2, with an offensive rating 119 per 100 possession. That's even when you're shooting as below average from 3 as he's shooting, that's still efficient because of how he's getting his other points. And he's just not depending on threes, shooting like 7-8 threes a game. So when the Hawks played the Sixers, the Hawks look like the better team. And series are long, though. That's the thing. It's a long series. Like when you look at when watching the Lakers Sun series, right? Like game 2 and game 3, all of a sudden, it was, well, no one's gonna beat the Lakers. It's over. It's kaputs. The Lakers get them to a championship. It's banner 18 or whatever the fuck. And when you look at the Clippers in the Mavs series, the Mavs were up 2-0, and everybody was making fun of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and questioning Kawhi Leonard's greatness and overrating and underrating as there's nothing. I'm gonna do this. The theme of this episode is just how annoying basketball fans are and how annoying NBA Twitter is, because everything is so black and white. There's no context, and it's so ridiculous. But so the Mavs, it's like the Mavs went up 2-0 and it was over. And it's the Clippers are just a bunch of losers and never going to amount to anything, including myself. Like I was 100% in on that. I don't think I'm better than basketball fans, and then NBA Twitter. I am part of it. Hand up. I'm an idiot. And so, when you look at the series now, which we'll get to, the Clippers are moving on. And so momentum shifts. And the Hawks almost blew it in the last 4 minutes of the game twice. So it's like only time will tell about Atlanta, if Atlanta can beat Philly. And, Ben Simmons is doing some gamesmanship by talking to in the press conference, sending a message to the ref saying like, well, if they'll let us play physical, then I can guard him. And he's right. They probably can. But we'll see how it goes. It's a long series. It's a lot of fun. At least, at this point, maybe basketball playoffs will get more interesting. Also, full disclosure, I'm in retirement. I am retired from the Lakers. Put me in retirement from gambling, so it's there's an embargo back on. There's a gambling embargo that I will not lift until the conference finals because I have to get an idea of what the hell is happening here. So the Nets and the Bucks, they played game one on Saturday. The Bucks sucked, and this is kind of what the Bucks do. It's like it's so. I love saying Bucksian. It's just a Bucksian thing to do. Uh, they'll just suck in the playoffs sometimes, and it's specifically it's always at the time when everyone picks them to do something. Like they're always, everybody and their mother is gonna be like, dude, I think the Bucks are gonna win it all. Like I'll get texts, hey, Bucks are winning it. Trust me. I'll see on Twitter, man, all this to stop the Bucks. I'll see the blue check mark people saying, they'll run down some numbers, and then it's like, well, the Bucks should are the people that there's the team that no one's talking about and they should be talking about. And it's like, and then they just absolutely play the lousiest game they've played all season long and in the worst time and against the biggest opponent. It's just and it's not even that Giannis didn't even play. Not that Giannis didn't play bad, and I'm not even saying that the Bucks are gonna lose the series, which I do think they will. But it's something that the Bucks seem to do every goddamn year, and I don't want this to be like a whole like LeBron James is great thing because I think that's over and done, and we understand that. But it's a testament to LeBron James and it's a testament to Kawhi and how great these guys are, and that's why. You can see the Clippers going on, and I think it's going to be Clippers Suns, but you can see those teams moving on because Kawhi Leonard was there for a season, and it was a better team and it was more balanced, and but the Bucks and Giannis haven't made the finals since LeBron left or since Kawhi left. The Heat made it last year, and they beat them this year, and I don't even understand this bubble nonsense. This is you still got to play the games, and we knew that there was going to be some players who played well, and like T.J. Warren, and some players who don't play well. Like that was always going to be the case because fans can adjust and people can get nervous, and travel does affect these guys. But the Bucks still like they do this thing where they shit the bed. It's Hall of Fame bed shitting. They're so good at it. No one quite shits the bed in the NBA like the Clippers and the Sixers and the Bucks, and like those are all got to make finals teams. Like the Sixers and the Bucks and the Clippers all have to make the finals, or like, Budenholzer's gonna get fired if the Bucks don't make the finals. Like if he doesn't, he's gonna get fired no matter what if he doesn't make the finals. Like Eastern Conference Finals, he's getting fired if they don't make it past that. Clippers. I don't know. I mean, they already fired Doc Rivers last season, so maybe they don't do anything. But the Sixers, they just hired Doc Rivers, so I don't know what happens with that. But I don't know. Those teams it's one of those. Those teams got to make the finals. It's just been too long, and I don't know. It's just. I don't think that people are gonna keep believing, or I don't know if there's going to be team or fans that believe, not that it matters, but I don't know if there's going to be fans that believe in the Bucks or the Clippers or the Sixers. Like I believe in the Nets. Also, but I mean, once again, series are long. It was only game one. We'll see what happens. But if the Bucks, I mean, the Bucks shot bad. Like it was a bad game. They shot 20% from three, 6 of 30. They're an average to above average 3-point shooting team. And so that I doubt that'll happen again. They shot 57% from the free throw line. Giannis only shot 3 of them. So it was a whole team. I mean, Giannis played good. So, I mean, he still got his numbers and everything. Shout out to Blake Griffin. 18 points and 14 boards. Plays like me now. This is and it makes me believe that I could be an NBA player now. And I'm sad. I mean, me and Blake Griffin have the same game. I'm all hustle, post up to pass, shoot only when I'm open. And I'm significantly cheaper and significantly shorter. But needless to say, our game is still the same. I don't know why the Nets haven't called. I'm so cheap. So Also, but I do have a lot of conditioning to catch up to, so maybe that's why. That's definitely why. It's definitely my conditioning and not my height or my jump shot or my rebounding and my skill. And so, whatever. Nets lost, They could have guaranteed a championship with my game, 18-4. So James Harden, hammy. I mean, and they're not even panicking. That's the thing. If you're the Nets and James Harden goes out within the first minute, and your best player and your third best player just answer the bell, and there is no panic, and they win that game very easily, and they win it in great fashion. They move the ball around. Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, everybody steps up because they have smart guys and it's a vet team, and Steve Nash only has to just fucking stand there. Then, then James Harden may not play this whole series. Like if somehow the Nets go up 3-2 and then they've been in control of the series the whole time, even if they go up 2-0 and somehow the Bucks tie it and it's 2-2, and the Nets and then at game 5 you don't play James Harden, you risk it and you go up 3-2, you're like, he's not going to play at all. So the only way he shows up, I think, is game 7. If he's actually hurt and they're in a position where they're worried that they won't win. Like, then they'll put him in there and he'll be able to do some stuff if he's like somewhat healthy. But other than that, like, we'll find out. I mean, it's going to be a long series. Game 7, the Clippers went on a 20 game 7. The Clippers and the Mavericks. Clippers went on a 21-4 run in the second half after Luka dropped 29 in the first. So, I mean, this game was really about Luka's greatness and how amazing he was. And there has been nobody who's averaged more points besides Michael Jordan and Luka Doncic in their first 12 NBA games. I mean, Luka was averaging 32 points. Michael Jordan averaged 33. Like, this guy he's it. And the Mavericks need to figure out how to put some talent around. And by the way, Mavs fans, now you know what it feels like to be a Laker fan. Now you know what it feels like for LeBron fans, which is weird to me, but it's fine. Whatever. If you want to be just like a fan of one team, like a child, because that's what children do, and you don't want to be like an adult child and root for a team so much that it makes you into an idiot, be my guest. But Mavs fans know what it feels like to be a Laker fan now. Watching all-time talent do it on their own with no help is the worst thing to watch, because you just think, like, how hard can it be to hit open shots, or how difficult can it be to just Tim Hardaway Jr. make open shots. You do it streakily. You played the best game of your career at the game 1, and I don't know. Also, credit to Ty Lue for his phenomenal in-game adjustment of putting in Luke Kennard. It's a tough decision to put in a shooter that shot 45% from 3 in the regular season. What courage. The courage to make those in-game adjustments. Wow. Hall of Fame stuff by Ty Lue here. Just incredible. Really, just unbelievable coaching. Good for him. Hey, Dallas, can we give Luka a real number 2, please? Like, Porzingis averaged 13 points in this series. What? This dude he's just disappeared. This guy, 2 or 3 years ago? Like, Knicks fans were right when they booed him. They were always right. He was never the guy. Obi Toppin's more the guy than Porzingis. That's actually not true, but Obi Toppin's from New York, so shout out to Obi Toppin. Julio's a Titan. Julio Jones is a Tennessee Titan, and the only takeaway I have from this, really, well, one, I mean, Tennessee, football it's offense and defense, and offense is more important than defense, but at the end of the day, Tennessee's defense still sucks, so even adding Julio Jones to their team doesn't make them, it makes them better offensively, and they're going to win games, and they're probably a they're for sure a top 5, top 6 AFC team. You still have the Chiefs, you still have the Ravens, you still have the Bills, and you still have the Browns. Like, those are still your 4. I have Ravens 4, Browns 3, Bills 2, Chiefs 1. And so you can do Colts and Titans 5 and 6, and you can switch them up any way you like. But at the end of the day, your defense still is fucking ass. So also the salary cap don't ever listen to anybody talk about salary cap. It doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. We said on this show 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that Julio Jones and the Titans were a long shot simply because they had $3 million for the cap. So they couldn't do a salary dump. Atlanta wanted to trade Julio because of their salary. And the Titans are covering the whole salary. They're paying $15 million. So they restructured. Sure, I guess you can just restructure and it just doesn't matter because of that case. Like, it doesn't matter. There's 53 people on the roster. You can end up cutting 5 of them or restructuring the guys. You can restructure roster 53, guy 53 to 44 to make the deal work, I guess. And then they'll just do it because they have to, because they're, the guys on the bottom of the totem pole. So Tennessee's able to cover the whole salary, which is, I think, the reason the trade got dealt, besides Tennessee being an AFC team. The Niners were the team to get him. Unfortunately, thoughts and prayers to be, because now I don't get to see the greatest wide receiver of our generation, right, be a Niner. It's unfortunate that the greatest receiver of his generation doesn't get to be a Niner. It's unfortunate because Jerry Rice was a Niner. Terrell Owens was a Niner. Randy Moss was a Niner. Calvin Johnson was never a Niner, unfortunately. And Julio Jones could have been Niner. Could have. And Larry Fitzgerald was a Cardinal, whatever. But part of me believes that the trade didn't get done in an NFC team because the Falcons are still in this window where they're not completely rebuilding, and they think that they can make. They're trying to make another title run, and putting Julio Jones in the NFC is something that they didn't want to do, and so they're going to get the same second and fifth rounder. They can get that anywhere from anybody. But an AFC team that really wanted him, that was willing to take on the $15 million contract, I mean, it's a no-brainer for them. It's a good trade for the Titans. But also, once again, don't give a fuck what anybody says about the salary cap. It doesn't exist. Salary cap is nonsense. Salary caps don't exist. Don't worry about them. Teams go over, teams go under, teams restructure. It just doesn't matter, just like NFL contracts. It's a 3-year contract, and that's it. At the most, it's usually just a 2-year because that's guaranteed money. So who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, it's all toy. It's all toy money. It doesn't exist. Don't worry about it. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up with caught down bad. So caught down bad. Dame Lillard endorsed Jason Kidd for a head coaching position, and then Jason Kidd publicly turned the job down. He put out a statement. Portland's a first-class organization and will have great candidates for its head coaching job, but I've decided to not be one of them. That is amazing. That's just so funny that Dame Lillard publicly endorses. You know how embarrassing that is? It's just so embarrassing to go out on a limb and say, I want that guy. And then that guy puts out a public statement and he's like, oh, no, thank you. I don't want to live in Oregon. I really like living in LA, and I can't win a championship there, and I will eventually get fired. So I will not coach you 32-year-old basketball player who's 6'2". So it's just not in the cards. Dame has to eventually go, but he's also getting paid truckloads of cash, eventually getting paid $54 million in like 2 seasons or 3 seasons. So I don't know who the fuck is going to trade for him. But then again, like we mentioned earlier, in the NFL, I know it's the NBA, but every contracts are nonsense, right? Chris Paul's contract was deemed untradeable, and he got traded twice. It was deemed untradeable, and he got traded twice. So, I mean, whatever. Okay, John Rahm tested positive for COVID at the PGA Memorial. Caught down bad. John Rahm tested positive for COVID at the PGA Memorial Tournament on Saturday. He shot 8 under par, and with 64 to lead on. He shot 8 under par 64 on Saturday to take a 6-shot lead. He lost out on $1.2 million because he tested positive for COVID. Here's the thing. I don't fucking feel bad for you. I don't give a fuck that you lost that $1.2 million because all of that could have avoided if you just got vaccinated. And I'm on record. I've been on record. The reason I'm not a like go get vaxxed or if not, you're a piece of shit guy. I couldn't care less. I don't give a fuck if anybody gets vaxxed or not. It's just easier to do because it's easier to be part of society. This is not like a political, couldn't care less. I believe that if you're not getting vaccinated at this point for a reason, it's out of sheer laziness or because of your politics. And it's one or the other. I wouldn't have gotten vaxxed out of sheer laziness, but you just got to do it because like you got to live in a society. Like it's like who gives a shit? Get vaxxed. So this was fully in his control. He could have been vaccinated, not tested positive, taken the lead, been a part, and then made his $1.2 million. But he didn't. So I don't give a fuck. Fuck him. I couldn't care less. The PGA could have handled it better. They could have told him. They told him on the greens with everyone watching while Jim Nance was guessing what the fuck was happening. But, dude, that was in your control. And then he made out a statement like, hey, stuff like this happens. It's like, no, it doesn't. When's the last time there was a pandemic in the world and you decided not to get the one thing that's going to stop you from getting the thing so that you could keep doing the thing that you want to do? Doesn't happen always, but you decided not to get vaccinated. Like, it's all on you. Harry Kane be caught down bad. Harry Kane becomes the second player in Premier League history. This is a painful one for your boy because I am a Tottenham supporter in the EPL. Harry Kane becomes, and he's gone. Harry Kane becomes the second player in the Premier League history to have the most goals and assists and still not win Player of the Year trophies. So, shout out to Tottenham. Still cursed, can't win trophies. Tottenham can't win trophies for their players and for their clubs, and when they leave, they win trophies. And then caught down bad Mexico. Finally, they lose out on CONCACAF's United Nations League Championship. I don't even know what this tournament is, but in my mind right now, it's more impactful than the World Cup's ever been in American soccer to the United States. The United States are champions of the CONCACAF world, technically. So almost you can say that the United States is champions of the world. Captain America hit a penalty to win the game. It's 3-2. Hit silence. Hit us with a silencer. Hit Mexico with a silencer. Mexico, horrible fans throwing piss at their own players. Who wouldn't see that in the United States fan base? We just believe that we will win. And, on to the World Cup. Put us in Euro. Honestly, I said it once. I'll say it again. I demand that UEFA puts us in the Euro. Put us in the Euro tournament, UEFA. Cowards. You wouldn't dare, because we'd take that. The Geneva Conventions is what we call ourselves. Back-to-back champions. Also, World Cup. Look out, dude. Look out. Captain America, Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Tim Weah. Very young. The USA team is about to fucking win some trophies. The golden generation. We're about to own soccer. Soccer's about to be ours. So get ready for that. And then Hall of Fame stuff. USA's champions of the world. So there you go. That's my Hall of Fame stuff. And lastly, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate you listening, supporting the show. And if you can, do us a favor. And if you haven't already subscribed and you keep listening, subscribe. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. This episode is going to be up on the YouTube channel on Monday. And, you can send it to somebody. It's just me. There's no John. But I really do appreciate the listenership. Shout out to all my international players out there. We're doing it. I don't know if you're putting subtitles. I don't know what's happening, but you keep listening. Taiwan, I fucking love you. Free Taiwan. Taiwan? Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. I don't know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is shout out to you. I'm a supporter. But thank you so much. And, follow us on First Team Second String on TikTok and Instagram. You can follow me at Brian_Alonzo on Twitter. And, once again, have a great week.